Great social dancers don't just execute moves, they jam like musicians. And last night here in Medellin, I saw a live Latin jazz jam session, and it was super inspiring how they improvised, how they played off each other. And so today, what I want to do is talk about how you can structure your dances like a Latin jazz jam session so they can be more musical, more dynamic, and more fun. If you didn't already know, jazz had a huge influence on the rise of mambo in New York City in the 40s and 50s, which has turned into what we know as salsa today. So let's see what the jazz musicians can teach us about dancing salsa. The first thing that happens is they establish the groove. In a Latin jazz jam session, what they do is they use something called a standard, which is a popular song or melody that pretty much everyone knows, and anyone who knows that standard or popular song can come and play, because that's what they're going to use as the structure to improvise off of. And as dancers, what we do is we use the song that's playing as our structure, and we can improvise within that. In the jam session, typically the pianist started off with a melody, and then each one's listening to the other and seeing how they respond to what the piano player was laying down. So here's a quick look at what a Latin jazz jam session will look like. So last night, it was the piano player who was laying down the rhythm that all the other musicians, like as you can see, the conga player is starting to play, would adjust to and form on top of. So all the musicians start by playing together, feeling each other out, fine-tuning the rhythms and melodies in accordance with everyone else. Similarly, as a dancer, you want to listen to how your partner is responding to each thing you do so you can start adjusting and get a sense for each other's style. This is what the musicians do before they start taking up the energy and go into solos. So as everyone's getting used to each other, this is where you start to explore each other's talents. So each musician might slightly change up what they do and see how the others are reacting. And likewise, as a dancer, as a leader, you could start changing your energy, maybe your timing a little bit, and see how your follower reacts. And then follows, what you can do is with whatever structure you're being given by the lead, you can find your little moments to style and express yourself within that. And as you do that, you start to get a stronger sense of how each one dances, and then you can build together. So this is like musicians subtly exchanging ideas before they take the spotlight and do solos. Next up, you have solos, and this is about individual expression. And just like a jazz solo, this is about finding freedom within structure. The energy starts coming up, and then you'll get a solo. So right here, the energy kind of drops out, and now it's the pianist who's going to get a solo. And in jazz, this could go on for a really long time, so I'm just going to skip forward. Usually starts out low energy, and then the energy rises, and all the band members come back and play together before the next solo. So as dancers, here's where you could completely break apart and do shines, or you could stay in partner work and play with the dynamic in between you. So it's kind of like a I go, you go sort of thing. The lead could do a dynamic sequence with a playful musical hit, and then give a chance for the follow to show off, be expressive by kind of loosening up the frame, giving her some structure, but allowing her to play within it. Now here's Terry and Denise giving you some examples of how to play and have those moments of improvisation and freedom inside the structure of the song. And you don't have to do it just in shines. In these cases, they're still in partner work, but each one of them is going to get their turn in the spotlight to show their own individual expression. So right off the bat, Terry is going to give an open break to Denise, and Denise is going to find that moment to style it. Right there. Plays with an accent, and she gets her moment to style again. Here it goes. Dynamic turn pattern with a musical accent, and she has her moment to style again. Let's watch that one more time. Open break, style. Accent, style. Dynamic turn to hit. Plays the piano with her fingers. I love that. Okay, then we've got another example. So, right here, he styles his open break, musical accent, and now it's Denise's turn. Turn, hit. And that's her moment to shine, right there. So the fact that Terry hit that accent and gave her the space, he's only holding onto one of her hands, she can freely move her body and then play with that hand, as opposed to if you're just leading partner work with both hands, you're going to take a lot of freedom away from the follow. So let's watch that one more time. So he styles his open break right there. Musical hit, turns to accent. And that's her time to shine. Now, some of you might be saying, well, hey, I'm not Terry, I'm not Denise. I don't know how to find all the musical accents. Like, what can I do? What are some simple ideas? So here's an example with Eddie Torres Jr., giving a really simple way you can have these exchanges with your partner and have some fun. So at first, you're gonna see him kind of surprise her and put her hands on his body when the music says sentimiento, which means feeling. And as a lead, you can see how your partner reacts. Do they react? Do they play with it? Do they go with it? Or are they surprised and they freeze up? And that gives you a sense of, what can you do with your partner? So right there, she goes with it. She does a body wave. And now the next thing he's going to do is he's just going to give her space. He's going to go off the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 rhythm, and he's just going to start hitting the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7 with his foot, and he's going to give her the opportunity to do a right turn, which she can style any way she wants. And because he's doing the 1, the 3, the 5, the 7 with his foot, she could even turn super slow if she wanted, which is what he shows you right afterward. So here he goes. He's emphasizing 1, 3, 5, 7. She does a turn. And now he does the same thing for himself or for both of them, nice and slow. So it's like a really fun, simple way to exchange energy with your partner. He kind of changed the rhythm by stopping and just tapping his foot, 1, 3, 5, 7, which gave his partner the possibility to turn on the normal rhythm or to turn on that slower rhythm. And then he did it again with her. So there's that exchange. Hey, you do it, now I'm gonna do it. Or you do it, and now let's do it together. So let's look at that one more time. It goes about here. So here he goes. Eddie Torres Jr. changes the rhythm, watch his foot, 5, 7, and now he does it together with her. And you can see most other people are just dancing in partner work. They didn't really change the rhythm. So that can make you stand out as a dancer, as a couple, and make your dance more magical, more fun, more dynamic. So what the musicians did after each solo is they came back and reconnected together, often playing the same chorus that they all knew. And what this did is reset the groove. They came back, reconnected before diving back into a creative rabbit hole or solo. Likewise, in your dance, this prevents the dance from being disconnected and chaotic. Vocals coming in here. Everyone comes back together. Now we have a change. And after the vocals, the bongo is going to get a solo, the congas are going to get a solo, and then the timbales are going to get a solo. Now, once you've come back together again, you can separate and go into more solos or an exchange of back and forth energy. So here we go, the bongocero. And then the bongocero is going to pick up the cowbell, and then the conga player, the conguero, is going to have a solo. So now he's playing the bell, and it's the conguero here that's doing his solo. And typically, they'd go back to playing together before doing another solo, but the way they're doing it, they're going to go right into the timbale solo. Here we go, timbale solo, which gets pretty crazy. The energy rises. As comfort grows between you, take turns leading expressive moments. Create more space for play. It could be little footwork exchanges, musical hits, playing with the call and response. And what this does is it makes the dance feel alive and not just like a bunch of pre-planned figures. An example of an exchange of energy or giving your partner the spotlight and then taking the spotlight for yourself. So he's going to give Tanya some free turns, so free spins. He has no hands on her body, so she's free to style however she wants and has more space. So leads give follows space to style, to express themselves, and then what he does after is he puts the spotlight on himself and does some turns. So here we go, free turns for her. She gets to style, more free turns for her, she styles. Now he's like, okay, my turn. I'm gonna do some turns, watch this. And you can see Tanya's face, she really reacted and had a nice reaction. So he showed her off, Or he let her show off or have her moment, and then he took his moment. And now they're going to come together. So kind of like we talked about with the jazz musicians, each one has their time to shine, and then they come back together. He's going to start playing with the music as they walk together. And they're going off the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 rhythm. They're just going on whatever rhythm the lead offers. And this creates contrast from the regular basic rhythm to something different. And they're doing it together. So they're dancing together in a different way, in a different rhythm. And now they're kind of going back to that 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 rhythm. What Fabrizio is going to do is kind of offer a connection with her, and they're going to start dancing together, again, off the regular rhythm. And then he's going to showcase some footwork, kind of like a quick footwork, little step, and be like, hey, look at me. Now, what are you going to do? Kind of like a call and response idea. So here he goes. He offers the arm. He's like, come with me. Let's do something different together. Again, contrast from the usual. And he's like, watch me. I'm playing with the violin. Now I'm going to watch you. So it's kind of that playful energy. Now it's like, okay, let's play to the violin together. And they started vibing off each other. Right here, she's doing pachanga. He starts pachanga. And then they actually finished it in the exact same way and started laughing. So contrast from the normal. Let's stop doing the crossbody leads. Come with me. Now I'm going to play with the violin. Watch me. Okay, now what are you going to do? Again, that exchange, that back and forth, vibing with your partner. Shines doesn't have to be a connected thing, disconnected thing. It should be a connected thing. You can vibe off your partner, copy what they're doing. That's what he did. And then, just like any good jam session, what they did is they did their solos, they traded energy, and they came back together. And then, so they come back together, they're dancing. They went back into shines. And they come back together and they unify at the end for a nice smooth finish, just like the jazz musicians. Lastly, you have the finale, the closing, and what jazz musicians do in a jam session after each one of them's done their solo is they come together and they finish together, usually with a really impactful ending, and now they go into the outro. They're all coming back together, unifying, finding that groove again, taking down the energy. Then they're going to build it up and finish. And that's what you want to do. You want to unify like jazz musicians with your dance partner, come together for the last few phrases of the song, and even if it's a really simple finish, like a turn with a hug or a simple turn, it doesn't even need to be a dip, it feels really intentional and sets the tone for what you've built together, and it's going to leave a lasting impression. Having fun, they're both getting in the spotlight, music's rising, energy, coming back together for the finale of the song. And again, you don't have to do super difficult partner work. They're obviously pros. You can keep it simple. The idea is coming back together, unifying for the end. And here the end comes. You can do a nice dip. And there you go. So next time you dance, think like a jazz musician, start off together, set the groove, trade ideas, exchange energy, give your partner space to express themselves, and then come together for a nice finish. If you enjoyed the video, click like, subscribe, check out the online programs that we have for salsa and bachata at thedancedojo.com. I'm actually going to be creating some more programs myself. I'm going to be working with you guys or everyone that's on the email list in terms of becoming a better solo dancer. Musicality, body movement, shines, everything you need to express yourself, just like we've talked about in this video. So if that interests you, hit the website, sign up for the newsletter, and we'll be in touch. Thanks for hanging around with me today. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.